And you are ready to go.
Okay. Welcome back to Oasis Valley Mysteries, Monster of the Week game. In game, it is Saturday, in March, I believe. A brilliant full moon starting to rise up in the sky as sunset approaches, but the group isn't up above to see it at the moment, as they are now crawling around underground in the dark, dank tunnels of the sewage system. Not sewage, that'd be gross. The drainage system. Previously, after recovering from late night travels and encounters with aggressive road hauntings, um, the party. Sorry, I'm losing track of my train of thought for a second there. Split up, uh, covering, taking care of several bits of business, including checking in at the scrapyard and eventually collecting your silver tipped weaponry or silver edged weaponry. Um, Learned from the uh, werebeasts of redemption, Phil and Diana, the couple, had a seemingly rather aggro encounter with the creature now known as Carnagor. The confirming that it had some that she had sometime during the night, seemingly slain another person, as well as a sheep, and was trying to retreat into the drainage system before they encountered her in the early hours of the morning. But deciding to take initiative, you gathered up your group, you gathered your gear, and following Tommy into the tunnels, you eventually found your way down into the part known as what Tommy has kind of dubbed the cistern swamp, which it appears to be deep in this vast cistern, which was meant to control the floodwaters that would come in seasonally with the rains, has now seemingly been overgrown with flora that you've only seen within the confines of the superorganism. And as we left off, you were traveling along following the magically enchanted quill pointing towards Carnagor's location. Carlos, you glanced off, getting just a sense of heebie-jeebies, really, and looked out into the darkness, lifted your light to see that you made eye contact with an eye, seemingly grown out of the plant life that you weren't sure that you were seeing things, right? As when you blinked, it blinked and there was nothing but the moss left behind. Or at least that's what you assumed. You're not sure what you saw, if you were maybe hallucinating down in this darkness, but uh, we left off with saying that the group would need to make something of a read bad situation rolls as you proceed into the dangers of this unknown subterranean swamp.
Yeah. So I assume that seems to be a read bad situation.
Yep.
For everyone, or
If people want.
I'd like to. Yeah.
Read bad situation.
got a
Keep forgetting.
question.
Space between the R and the number.
Right.
Got a question.
Uh-huh.
So if you roll, since sharp is my highlighted stat, and I failed that roll, I got a 4. Would I get 2 points of EXP?
I think it's just one either way, right?
It's just one as far as we've been running it in the past.
Okay, this is why I asked.
9.
And remember,
Six.
you roll the dice, then add your modifier.
Yes, JD.
Not add your modifier to each die.
See, this one is easy. I have 0 in sharp. It's fine.
You mean you don't double negative something?
For double bonus. That's like It's fine. So 12, 6, 9, 9. Okay. The 12 gets a hold of 3. The 9s get a hold of 1.
Alright, let me reacquaint myself with read a bad situation.
While a 6, on a miss, you might misread the situation.
Well, I got a
Will
5, so
And I got
Oh
4.
my,
I got a
oh my
6.
god!
I got a rock.
I got an egg.
So who all rolled 6 or lower?
Yeah,
I rolled a 6.
I rolled a
Okay.
4.
See, Nora, this is a fine game to roll a 12 in.
So, what's my best way in? What's my best way out? Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's the most vulnerable to me? What's the best way to protect the victims?
Alright, I'd like to spend some of my points then.
Okay, you get a hold of 3.
Mm-hmm.
While everyone else gets a 1 unless you fail.
Yeah, and if you act on the answers, get a +1 ongoing while the information is relevant. Okay.
Yep. And you can,
No.
or you can hold on to them if you want for future rolls, of course.
Yeah. Okay. First thing I'll ask, of course, is what is a danger we have not noticed yet
Okay.
down here in this meat moss swamp?
Okay. Well, it's not quite meat that is moss, but moss that grows from meat.
I
So,
don't know if that's better.
but as you, I assume you all have like some kind of flashlight or torch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right? Not torch, but I meant like torch as in the British vernacular for a flashlight. I don't know why I said that. Anyways, you have flashlights, or maybe a little magic ball in the case of Carlos if you want. But the you aim your light out into the swamp, kind of glancing around as you're going along. Carlos, did you mention to the group seeing that? Actually, what would your reaction be? Because we didn't get that.
No, because that's what you ended on.
Yes. What's Carlos's reaction to seeing that? Or thinking he saw something?
He'd probably just be staring there for a minute and shake his head. Just be like, yeah.
Okay. That makes sense for the 6th then, because you're so focused on that point, you don't really. Nothing seems to jump out at you, literally or figuratively, as you're like glancing around. It just looks to be like one of the support columns for the ceiling, just a little overgrown with the creeping moss and strange, like they're not vines. They almost look like capillaries reaching out, but you know they're like a type of crawling weed.
Yep.
Kind of like the red plant from Mars. I almost said Mars Attacks, but War of the Worlds.
Yes.
I got that. It's a crossover. Mars Attacks, the War of the Worlds.
The War for Mars.
All right. So yeah, that is my question.
Sorry. Dangers you haven't noticed yet. Okay. Yeah. You're going along, and you do notice something that you recognize from one of the displays from the like one of the displays at the museum that you've walked by. But what looks to be like maybe like a rock or something that like tumbled down here, got pushed with the flow or whatever, or like maybe a piece of concrete. You see this rounded lump of dark gray, but then as you like the beam passes over it, you see it shift. So you like stop and look at it, and then you realize, oh, good thing that's on the ground and not above us. You point that out, and Winifred, you would immediately recognize this as you just kind of call them like wall creepers, but they are a type of endofauna that are a predatory isopod that are ambush hunters. That they will typically like drop down on things and just kind of coil around them, or latch on if it's a larger thing, and just hunker down and just start chewing. Sometimes they'll be like attached to the walls chewing, but if depending on their mood or their appetites, because it seems they can't get all their nutrition from the walls. Seeing that is definitely a signifier that there are endofauna seemingly above ground now. But seeing that, you are able to spot out. They aren't many, but like you do see like one or two where it's like, okay, give that pillar like a wide berth. There's like one hunkered up there. You don't know if it's like a sleeping or just actively hunting. But it is, Winifred, you would know this is not a good sign, seeing these up above here.
Yeah, this isn't good. This isn't good at all. She's gonna point at them and point out, what they look like. Is watch out for them. Don't walk underneath them. Don't tempt them.
Yeah, they are fairly, as long they are ambushers, they won't pursue. They're rather slow, relying on their armor to really, they're only like when they're curled up, they're like basketball size.
Oh. Baby.
No, no, baby.
baby.
People will eat your face off.
Ew, ew, baby.
Winifred, it is. There are definitely stories and confirmed reports of one of them glomming onto someone's like foot or arm and just having to amputate.
Yeah, they're pretty. And I assume if they drop down on your face, you're fucked.
Yeah, they yeah, and honestly, that's kind of one of the like clauses for, or like that's actually a thing that the unions got for pluripotent workers down and like interior workers is amputation limb replacements are included in the health package, because you lose your foot to one of these things, they'll grow you a new one.
Giant predatory isopods.
So yeah, she'll point them out and say it's not good that they're here.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
Olivia doesn't say baby. I said baby.
Uh-huh.
She's internally thinking baby.
Yeah, it was Hanzo who noticed that one. So you still have
Yeah.
one, I believe, Winifred and Olivia, and two more for you, Hanzo.
I'm still looking at the options.
And if there's like a different kind of question you want to ask, if it's not like super revealing, it can, if it's like in line with those.
Or maybe we just keep asking the same question of what have we noticed yet, and there's just more and more fucking fauna in here.
I mean, good.
It's like there's the giant predatory isopod, there's the giant enemy crab.
There's the duck.
Also a turtle.
And 3 kinds of shrimp.
Yeah, you gotta watch
Here
out
we
for them
go.
pistol
But, like,
shrimp.
that was
They won't hesitate. They're armed.
And
Said something about shrimp?
you
Delicious
joke,
shrimp?
Sadie, but like
Oh,
that is a
Fred-
danger in the mystery flesh pit. Is giant shrimp-esque things.
Oh yeah, it's they're straight up giant monstrous skeleton shrimp, and that's a terrifying thought, because skeleton shrimp are kind of terrifying when you look at them, just normally.
Yeah.
But yeah, Fred, you would recognize this being night security guard. You've walked past this display and seen the like taxidermy versions of them.
Oh, would you look at this fellow?
But that's like the most immediate danger that you haven't noticed. Because for the most part, as you're continuing on, are you following the quill? It seems like you can scoot around the edges of it, or you might be able to cut across the swamp. Which route would you like to go? Going
Direct
around might
route.
take longer. Yeah, cutting through like this corner would probably save you some time.
Well, if we try to save time by cutting directly through the swamp and we run into a creature, that's not gonna. We're just gonna use as much time. So we should probably try to play it safe and get as little, try to remain intact before the boss fight.
Or we see what
Or-
kind of creatures are down here along the way, and most things under here would be pretty skittish of bright light.
Well, I mean, case in point, giant predatory isopod don't get near it, and he said good. DM said, "Good thing that's not up on the ceiling. It could have dropped down onto your face."
Yeah.
And you did see some, now that you pointed them out and Winifred knows to look for them, that's part of the ongoing check against to avoid them. You do see that some of them are like clinging to the pillars. Like the support columns.
We've only
So I guess
answered, are there any dangers we haven't noticed so far, correct?
yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the biggest threat, I guess, is my hold for now.
If you had to guess, just going by your experience and, actually from your expertise of being a deep ranger within the superorganism, while you don't see any currently, previous experience with endofauna that can survive, outside of the superorganism for limited points of time, those would include like the chupacabras or the scorplodites. You have experience, fairly recently showing that while they would be, eventually not be able to survive long, they can survive times, but there are possibly, you might encounter some other critters down here, but you don't think that anything too big would have gone up here without like significant evidence of its passage, because there are certain things in there like the graboids, while mostly peaceful unless cornered and startled, they aren't exactly discriminate with their burrowing if they think they can get through it. Same thing with the tortoises. They'll just not, looking around, you don't see any toppled pillars or cracked cement because they just shoot through that like, a normal tortoise will go through drywall. But up here, you would expect maybe the apex predator aside from carnivore. Maybe watch out if you see any standing pools of water. You get the sense that this feels like scorplodite territory if you had a guess. There's not a lot of, there's no walls for chupacabras to drink from, so unless there's one that just recently got of whatever exit there is, you're probably not going to find them roosting around here.
Okay. Right.
So avoid any deep, dark pools.
And you do see, like, not like big pools, but almost like puddles and stuff that have pooled thanks to the, buildup of sediment and the plant life. It seems to be creating its own, like,
Microclimate.
growing, medium, like growing medium.
All right. So with that information in mind, we would have a +2 ongoing bonus to trying to navigate through the swamp without incident.
And like last time, Winifred, you kind of sniffed around thanks to your vampire senses and realized that the atmosphere, it's not thick enough for some of the organisms to that are endofauna. Like, you're not going to see any of the little floating jellyfish things that the cytojellies. You're not going to see any of them bobbing around down here. The atmosphere's not
Yeah.
it's not the interior atmosphere, but there is that like trace amounts that you can smell.
Yeah, I think you mentioned last time as well that it's probably best that we don't stay long, not merely because of the animals, but because this is probably going to be toxic if we stay long enough.
Yeah, the oxygen content is probably not as high as you would comfortably enjoy long term, but it's not going to be like suffocating you. It doesn't feel like that right now.
Not a vacation spot.
We'll be fine if we get out of here fast enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Also,
I'm gonna hold on to I'm gonna hold on to my stuff.
Okay. Anything for you, Olivia?
So it was whatever we noticed, and what was the other one? Best way
Biggest
in.
threat.
Biggest threat. Okay.
What's the best way in, I suppose?
Yeah. What's the best way in?
Best way in with that information that Winifred's sharing, and Olivia, you get taking a lead. You're pretty sure you see a path that's mostly dry. Or you can see clear concrete under the ground. So, actually, it's not quite like a path, but like you do see like a route that might be able to cut through the swamp. The grown over areas. That's a little bit thinner.
Okay. I do have the super powered flashlight.
Yeah, you got a powerful light. Honestly, you do have a flamethrower. If you really wanted to just clear a path, that's always an option. It's going to be super noticeable, and who knows what kind of fumes this moss is going to give off when you burn it.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
No, I'm just saying that is a possible option. It's just there will be side effects, consequences.
Yeah.
But
She'll point, nudge Hanzo and point him in the path she can see. That path looks pretty clear. And if we need to, book it for whatever reason, I could torch stuff.
Hey, what are those chem lights you kind of snap to activate?
glow sticks.
Yeah. That might be a good thing to leave behind to help us trace our way back in case we need to book it.
If Olivia wants to roll preparedness, because that was.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Oh God.
Because that's the perfect time for that ability. Oh God. Sorry, I just tabbed over back to Discord. I forgot about that monster, Shady.
Yeah.
And now you remember. You're welcome.
I really liked that cereal though as a kid, but that thing haunted me.
8. Oh God damn it! Wait. God damn it! I have it, but not here. Wow, I'm so good at this, but I roll so fucking bad at it.
It's always back in your car.
Yeah, God, I have a +3.
Yeah, there's probably some from an emergency road kit.
Oh, never mind. No, it's there. Ah.
Yeah. What if you wanted to engage in collaborative storytelling, but the dice said nah?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Do I have any road flares?
That shit's hot.
That's true.
I mean, you probably do in the same box that the glow sticks are in.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again,
Well,
we don't want to go up and smoke.
I do have my lasso.
Hey Carlos, can you do some kind of magical marker?
Good question.
That'd probably be something you could handle with the use magic,
Sure. Let me give it a
Just
roll.
pull out a fucking Sharpie out of your pocket and you just draw into the air.
Let's see.
2d6 plus 3. I got a 9.
A 9. It works, but imperfectly. Blah blah blah. Which one is it?
Carlos
I'm just
takes
gonna
out
say
the fingers.
is short duration, so you can make it, but it won't last like permanently. You know, you have a time limit on this, like maybe an hour.
Carlos takes out his fingers, snaps a small flame in, just like burns and like an ashy line on the beam. Okay, there you go. There's a marker.
Yeah, it goes from like that burn, and then it starts to glow. Like goes from black and just chroma shifts into like a pale white glow. The burn will be there, but that glow is temporary.
Alrighty. That's good enough for me. I believe we have a +3 bonus of finding our way in.
Okay. Then I suppose who nominate someone to do a act under pressure to guide you all through this with that +3, provisional +3.
Well,
I have a +3 to act under pressure.
Yeah.
So
I've got a -1 to act under pressure, so I'm here to help.
Same here.
Oh my god! Alright, Hanzo, you or me?
Sure, animal expert.
Let's see me roll 2 1s. Let's go. So it's my +3 plus another +3.
Yeah, so a +6 basically.
God, I'd have to roll 1 to fuck this up. Let's see it happen. 14.
Okay. That's okay.
God, it tried though. A 3.
Well, I guess. Wait.
A 3 and a 5.
That's not
It
how
tried.
it works. I realized because the highest you can roll is a 15, and that would have put it over 15 if you rolled higher. But it doesn't matter.
It's fine. If I went over a 15, like it's just a 15.
Okay, you set out what you do. What you set out to do. So
Yeah.
with everyone kind of pointing out, and actually, it's kind of inspiring. Everyone pitted together, pointing out things, and came together. And now, Olivia, you are able to take point with a flashlight in one hand, weapon in the other, as you go forward, leading your group. It's not D&D, so I don't really need to worry about like a marching order. Although, really, it would be fun to know who was in the very back. But
in case they get spootered, or in this case, isopoded.
With that act under pressure, you're able to avoid. You do see one or two wall creepers kind of clinging to the ceiling at one point, so you have easily enough to take a detour around them without going off this not quite path, but the route you're taking. And as you get in further, it's not like a super thick growth underfoot and on these walls. It's as you're going through it, Winifred, it's definitely not rampant growth like you were afraid of at first, but it almost feels like a slow spread. It's it might have been years since you were ever witness to it, or maybe just reminding you of pictures you might have seen, but it kind of looks like an underground tundra with how just like there's low clinging plants rather than like shrubbery and stuff. But it's still eerie being in this man-made place, becoming overgrown with the superorganisms, well, not itself, but its influence.
Yeah, less like being in the superorganism itself, and more like it's kind of like a creeping moss from it.
Yeah, it would actually remind you and Hanzo inadvertently of that like artificial like terrarium that now you know Lucia's brother, Dr. Lucia's brother, back in Plurpone had in his office. It took up like a large, like basically half of his room was like his personal like terrarium that replicated it. But this is like, yeah, it really does feel like someone is. It's like a hydroponics experiment. It almost in a weird way. You realize it's like someone's transported the plant life and is now somehow managing to grow it elsewhere
Okay.
artificially, but it doesn't have that artificial feel to the growth. It's not like someone planted and farmed this. I'm not trying to say that.
It's more
I'm
like
kind of rambling.
I get what you mean. It's more like it's an abandoned building that has been overgrown.
Yeah.
But instead of plants, we get horrible meat monsters.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, someone had a terrarium and then the building got condemned and they forgot the terrarium, but the terrarium kept growing. But
Makes sense.
there is a point where you do find a part where it is because the construction of the cistern, it is like a large bowl shape to the floor, so water will pool towards the center. And you do get to this point where you find this area where, thanks to a buildup of either sediment and fortifications from the moss and the red plant, it's created like almost like a vernal pool by the looks of it. Just this large pool, maybe 15, 20 feet across, maybe a foot deep in some spots. But as you're giving it a wide berth, Winifred, with your vision, and actually Tommy, both of you would be able to see, thanks to the reflection of your light sources, the glint off of a dark carapace, as you both recognize, a scorpiodite, much smaller than the one you thought of above, because that was a prize for the poachers. This one looks to be like maybe 1.5 feet, 2 feet long. A juvenile, if you know.
Okay.
Just kind of not making a motion to follow you, but you just notice it just kind of sitting there at the bottom of their, creeping, lurking.
Creeping.
Demon.
But you're able to give that a wide berth. You know that while their claws can slash and like hurt, maybe break a few bones, it's really the venom that's the problem at that size. Because just like normal scorpions, the younger ones don't really have that whole conservation thing down with the venom. But avoiding that, Carlos, you are following the quill, and
Yep.
a couple of times as you're moving along, because it's moving as you do to keep its point, so you stop occasionally to keep an eye on it, and it seems that Carnagor is not moving, or if she is, it's just like in the same spot, maybe like shifting around, like there's the occasional twitch to the needle. But eventually, though, this is maybe an hour or so of trudging, because it is a bit of a winding path you have to take, Olivia, but better safe than sorry. Well, no, it wouldn't be an hour. It'd be closer to like maybe half hour, 45 minutes. But you see the other wall kind of loom up out of the darkness, or your light beams hit it from your flashlights, and you're pretty certain that it is pointing past it into another series of tunnels.
Oh God.
It seems she isn't nesting in the swamp area.
I mean, that doesn't surprise me. I mean, like with the giant carnivorous isopods and the eyes and the moss. Ugh.
That the first time you mentioned the eyes out loud?
Yes, 100%. The first time he's mentioned the eyes of the moss out loud.
Therefore, that doesn't make it. You've never heard of that before.
Heard of what?
The eyes in the moss.
What?
The what now?
You know, before we started really do the deep delving, I looked at some of the moss, and the moss blinked at me with an eyeball, and then it sunk back into the moss. I'm assuming it's magic mumbo jumbo.
Reasonable assessment.
Is it? Is that a reasonable assessment?
Do you want it, the alternative, to be the answer? That it's not magical, and it's something with the superorganism can just grow eyes out of moss?
That our
You're
deep
assuming
ranger
it's-
doesn't know about.
That our deep ranger doesn't know about?
Yeah, Winifred. There's
concerning.
one thing that the superorganism has a lot of features that would be considered both, eerily familiar, but also very alien to like normal biology. Eyes aren't really ever anything that comes up when concern with the superorganism structure. Eyes don't really factor into it.
Superorganism doesn't make eyes.
So
Doesn't
I'm
need
assuming.
them.
Was it a human eye?
Thinking about it,
How-
it was kind of humanish.
It
There
was
the
odd.
white and a pupil and an iris.
There was a white and a pupil and an iris, so it was human in nature.
What the fuck?
Must be magic then.
Probably, or weird.
Is it something like carnivore?
It could be weird sci-fi stuff grown from the superorganism. If this has been down here long enough that an ecosystem's established, we're probably not the first to find it.
Why didn't you say something?
Because it wouldn't have helped.
And now we're this deep with something possibly watching us the whole time.
Fred,
Yeah.
as everyone's just discussing this, like again, because you've worked the security in the museum, so you've never heard anything about eyes manifesting in the superorganism, so you're weirded out. But out of the corner of your eye, you see something like wiggle on the concrete wall next to you, and then like whipping around, you realize, oh, it's just some geckos. And then you realize that, oh, there's actually some geckos just like living under here too. So it's not.
Oh, I'm
just,
gonna
like,
wander off to look at these cool geckos.
Oh fuck!
He did roll poorly earlier for reading
Yeah.
that situation.
And if I go off to check out something by myself, I mark one experience.
Excellent.
Go, Fred, go.
Yeah, so Fred, you go off because it's now that the group is like walking along the edge again. You see this, just these little geckos kind of crawling around, and they look very similar to the little pink wall geckos that show up on your porch, or the porch of the hotel you're staying at. Whenever you at night going after the fly, the moths and stuff around the street lights, and it just seems they're just scurrying around doing their gecko thing. Some of them like scurry a bit at the light, but now that there is a light source, there is these like little lacewing kind of bugs that flock to the light that you've seen going through, and now that you're pointing it at the wall, some of the geckos get brave enough that they dart over and start going after the bugs that are attracted to your flashlight.
Hello, little guys.
So these are not a unique endemic species of gecko. These are found on the surface.
Yeah, these are. I'm literally imagining the geckos that I get on my porch during the spring and summer when you turn on your porch light, because they'll just come out and they live in the walls and eaves of houses.
I, for one, am glad that Fred gets to experience the joy that I experience daily. That is, looking at a gecko and seeing the beauty that is a gecko. Just these little miracles in nature.
Yeah, honestly, that's kind of why, it's like give something Fred to do, and it's like, oh yeah, geckos. But Fred, as you're there, you kind of feel something like slither over your foot.
I look down.
there is a large slug-like thing, just about foot long, just inching along, and it just seems your foot was in the way. But
Move my foot.
as it crosses across your shoe, there is like a faint, like sizzling sound, and then you recognize that these things are an endofauna, mildly acidic. You probably might want to get this off of your foot.
Yeah, take it
foot.
off, you know.
Yeah. So, another note in dangers in. So yeah, you had an encounter with a sizzle slug.
Hey, don't sizzle my shit, slug.
Yeah, sorry. This is just me using excuses to introduce some more endofauna I have on my list.
That's absolutely fine. I'm gonna further wander off.
No!
Goodbye, Fred. We
I'm
knew
going.
you well.
I'm going further into the pit.
This is how we got LOL Snake.
Yep.
Oh,
Yep.
God.
We need to have our LOL snake moment.
There's
Yeah.
a mechanical incentive for my class to wander off and get in trouble.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's even
Fred-
funnier that you're not the interfering teen, but you're a man in your 40s.
And the thing is, you guys do a very good job of preventing me from doing it. But for once I got away.
There was the distraction of the eyes and the moss. So, Fred, you go off just kind of admiring like some of the little. It's peaceful down here. It's nice. It's quiet. It's not hot. It's cool. Maybe a little humid, but it's very much a relief to the dry heat up above. So, and there's cute little geckos and other little critters. Now that you know to watch your feet for sizzle slugs or the wall creepers, you're pretty confident as you're just kind of admiring this. So, back to the others. Eye moss.
And nothing bad will ever happen.
And Fred died on his way back to his home planet.
But yeah, that would be the assessment. It was like, I assume it to be a magical phenomenon. That would explain why only Carlos has seen it.
Well, I mean, like, when I looked at it, it blinked and vanished. So, like, probably?
It would not be the first time we've heard that there is magic about the superorganism.
Yes.
No, but
All the same, we should stay alert and keep our eyes peeled. And where's Klutzman?
Yeah, this is a bad time to mention. He wandered off like 5 minutes ago.
Tommy, you didn't say anything?
He's a grown-ass man. He can take care of himself.
Listen.
No, he can't.
Savage by endofauna already.
So, unfortunately, as this little revelation goes, and the group starts to think, it's like, oh shit, where's Fred? We gotta go get Fred. Carlos, the quill lurches in your, above your palm. Carnivore is on the move, but it's not in the direction that Tommy indicated. Fred went.
Carnivore's on the move.
Fuck.
Which way?
The opposite way of where we lost our friend.
And actually, it's kind of weird because it's like darting side to side, not like quickly, but like going side and then like turning a bit. Actually, because you didn't do well with the read about situation. You're not. It's difficult to really judge which way it is, but then it isn't. As Tommy and Winifred, you'd be the ones to first hear the kind of clicking of claws on concrete. As you look ahead and you see you've passed other side tunnels of like tributaries into the cistern, but up ahead you see another one, and it's only you two who can see this because of your monstrous eye vision. Oh, excuse me, I had a burp.
For once, we're playing a fucking tabletop RPG where all of us do not have dark vision.
Yeah, it's literally the vampire and the thylacanthrope who have it. So you're able to see further ahead, kind of out of reach of the lights of everyone else's flashlights. A now familiar kind of reptilian head peek around the corner, forked tongue flitting out very much like a snake's, as it tastes the air and then swivels to point in your direction as voices are getting raised in like discussion of like what to do with Fred. But then she darts back in.
She's onto us.
Oh, we didn't see it.
Tommy and Winifred were the ones who spotted.
Right.
She's on to us. There you go.
I'm
Wait.
to something.
Did you hear her?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Shit.
Find Klutz.
All right. Okay. I'll go find Fred. You guys don't let her escape. Which path are you going down?
She'll point out the shadowed tunnel.
So like you take a second look at it, like, okay, that's where it is. That's where it is. All right. What direction did Fred go?
That away, and Tommy points to where you saw Fred go.
Thanks,
You saw him
Tommy.
like walking along the wall.
All right. How about this? We split into two groups.
No, I don't think that's a good idea. Like, yeah, it's bad if I run into some fauna, but it's worse if less of us run into carnivore.
That's why I'm suggesting Tommy stay with us, Winifred go with you. She's
feel
a
like
deep
we
ranger. She would be able to find him quickly.
Yeah, but you need her muscle.
That's why we have Tommy. Both groups will have a heavy hitter.
This is true.
I feel
And
yeah, but
one
you're
that can
dealing
see in the dark.
you're dealing with a bigger threat. Like, I think you should have them both.
I care more about preserving lives right now than stopping that thing.
All right.
Besides, I doubt she will engage us.
All right. Let's go, Winifred.
Is there a way that I can look for Fred, like track him?
Yeah. And I wasn't going to say anything to influence anything, but you're the one searching for him, right?
Yep. Indeed.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. There's no need for you to roll anything because, again, vampire senses and being a deep ranger, someone had it right. You would be able to track him down fairly quickly.
Yeah.
So that's on in this game, if it's something that your character can do, feasibly without, no significant pressure on them, yeah, I'd say, something your character can do. It's trying to get out of the D&D mindset for that with this, kind of like with Fabula Ultima. But yeah, so Winifred, you go dashing off. Actually, be really funny and actually incredibly useful. Your bat form would be incredibly useful in this moment.
Okay. So yeah, you just kind of watch her like jump into the air, and suddenly there's a bat, and it just kind of slaps you in the face with its wing before it leaves.
Ow!
Squeak, squeak, squeak. It just flies off. And yeah, it would not take long to find Fred as he's. I wasn't. Okay, so you find Fred. Nothing bad was going to happen to Fred. I just wanted to. But
the fuck with us.
yeah,
That's completely fine.
The whole point
Yeah.
of the game is to divide the group.
as the rest of you go pursuing after Carnagor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
Mhm.
know what
Okay.
taking the bait is like when you're a mundane. I know the dangle
Uh.
shiny bit.
Yep. Yeah. It's the carrot on the end of the stick. So rest of you go rushing off towards following where Tommy is indicating. And sure enough, you get to this tunnel, and this one it's a different form than the others. This one feels more like a maintenance tunnel. It's shaped more for like people walking. And you do see what looks to be like the remains of like now burnt out or broken lighting. Because there are like steps that go up and then into the tunnel, or this hallway, I suppose would be a better phrase for it. Since you realize this looks to be I guess now abandoned maintenance tunnel, or I'm just repeating myself in circles. Sorry. Rushing along it, who's first? Tommy?
I guess so, yeah. 'Cause-
Tommy has the night vision.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if he comes face to face with Carnagor, she might hesitate.
hmm
So
Wait, she?
Oh.
Okay, I guess you're right.
following Tommy and Carlos not far behind with the Quill's guidance, you go into and pass through what look to be just these very cramped, like 1 or 2 person wide tunnel hallways. There's graffiti, like old, just around. This looks like maybe teenagers or people came down here to hang out. There's the occasional like broken beer bottle, it looks like. Definitely seen more use than the other tunnels, besides like where you live, Tommy.
hmm
But eventually you do see up ahead the glow of like that dirty yellow glow of really old emergency lighting, or just old industrial lighting, where it's like the bulb has been going for like 50 years and how is it still going, but it's all that gross yellow. But
And really loud and buzzing.
yeah, and you start seeing some of those, so it's actually a lot easier to see. And let's see. Tommy, since you were the first one, up ahead you see, and Carlos, it's pointing towards this. It looks to be a doorway, like a metal doorway that is partially propped open. Like there's like a sliver that hasn't closed all the way. But Tommy, how do
Yeah.
you want to proceed? Since you are the first one, as this
Um,
quill is indicating that Carnagor's path is either went through it or she's in whatever room that is.
I want to roll a read a bad situation check just to see if I can gather
Okay.
anything else.
Yeah, that was also what I was going to ask you to do, anyways. So go ahead.
I got a 6.
A 6. What'd you roll?
I roll in a D&D dice roller.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your plus sharp?
0.
Okay.
God.
Yeah.
So
Actually, let me put this in dice rolls to give it to show what I roll in.
okay.
He's rolling. I hate.
Oh, dang, you're not wrong. So might misread the situation or reveal technical details to your enemies. Okay.
All right.
How do you want to proceed?
I'm gonna try looking close, seeing if I notice any, like, try to figure out, like, where exactly she went, like if she's moving in any particular way, like if she's injured or whatnot.
Okay. Do you push open the door, or are you just going to peek through the sliver?
He'll peek through the sliver.
Okay. From what very little you can see, it looks to be like maybe an old pumping room for like pumping out excess water.
Mhm.
It looks to be like old rusted up machinery, but like in a large industrial room, but you can't really make out more than that. There is some lighting in there, and you can sort of smell. There is the smell of like old meat, like like something has brought food here to eat, like a a predator's den, and but otherwise you don't really get a sense of Carnagor.
Okay.
You can't really see her from that sliver. To really assess the situation, you're gonna have to enter.
Yeah. Okay. Tommy's gonna do just that.
But from like in this hallway, this doesn't look like there's any other entrances into this room. Like this maintenance hallway continues on and into the darkness, but this is like a door off of it, like one of the only doors you've seen so far.
I'm gonna check Carlos's dial.
Okay.
Yep. It is pointing inside.
She went that way.
Think she's waiting for us.
Probably.
I know you don't remember much. Do you think negotiation is possible?
We can try it. See what happens.
You enter.
Entering.
Okay. Pushing open the door, you kind of like a small little platform, and then steps down into the larger room. Still concrete steps, not like metal or anything. So there's nothing hiding underneath it. Thankfully for you, but looking out into this larger chamber, it is decently large. Fairly large. There's almost similar to the pillars outside. There's actually a couple of like just collection of rusted pipes, with dials. Some of the glass base is cracked or just completely broken off. It has that like industrial boiler room, pipe room kind of look to it. That this is probably maybe even a boiler room or pumping station that you used several decades back, but just maybe got left behind with newer constructions, or just left to rust away down here. But you don't see Carnagor, but there are a lot of nooks and crannies and hiding places in here. It's a xenomorph's playground kind of vibe.
Okay.
And you do look around, Tommy, and following your nose, you do spot like in the like in a corner what looked to be like a several broken bones. Not can't tell if any of them are human from a distance, but looks to be previous meals. And you hear a voice kind of hiss out from the darkness. There are a few lights, but there are a lot of shadows. It's not brightly lit in here at all. It's actually warmer than out there. Might have been another reason why the reptilian Carnagor is here. But you hear the voice hiss out, goes, Thomas, what are you doing here?
Just curious about answers. What about you? What are you doing here, Carnivore?
Oh, you do remember my name. I was wondering if they had taken everything from you.
Apparently they did. It comes out in bursts now.
Then, as she continues to talk, it's hard to pin it down. It kind of echoes out from around the room, and the quill is like not being like jerked around. She's hiding somewhere, but it's like further into this chamber, and you don't know if there's like another like section off behind it, or if it continues on. But
And I imagine too, it doesn't give us like a precise location. It points us in the right direction. Now we're here.
yeah, because it was following significant movements, but now that it's like she's still, or it seems she's still in hiding. Oddly, the spell is more accurate ranges. But,
Sorry.
So what are the rest of you doing besides the Freds? Are you following in?
Oh god.
Or waiting at the door in the hallway?
No,
Waiting at the door.
Yeah.
It just like Carl's kind of looks. It's like, do you think he can actually talk his way out of this one?
I don't know, but I don't want to startle her.
Same. We're in very close ranges for me to start lighting things on fire.
And if she feels pressured, she might react unpredictably.
Exactly. Just let Tommy handle it for now, and then if the others get here, the others get here.
What we're doing is, can I roll preparedness?
What you trying to get?
So, I don't think the other good sense havers are going to appreciate it, but the equivalent of like a stink bomb.
I mean, this place is pretty stinky.
Yeah, but those three have been able to track still.
So you want? Okay. I mean, it is the 90s, so
yeah. I was gonna say like the deer piss hunters use, but like no, that's no, never.
I remember being able to buy stink bombs from the ice cream man as a kid.
Oh my god.
You have some old, dank weed.
So may I roll that?
Sure.
Ha! Fuck off! Ah!
It's in at the preserve.
Fuck! God!
Oh,
I am
God.
so...
No, you know what it is? You know what it is? It's back in the lost and found at the preserve because it was something. It's in your workshop, but it was something you found in the lost and found. It was like some kids brought it with them during a field trip and got caught. So,
oh my god! This is the exact same roll I got the first time.
I know it's kind of your new 12. Anyways, sorry, you are stinkless.
They got fucking piss on her. God. God.
Smelling fresh, Olivia. We're sorry.
You want me to turn into a coyote and pee on you?
Oh, God. Please no.
I'm not going to. Even if you had said yes, I would have said absolutely not.
No, we are not going into that magical realm.
We don't.
Yeah, you enter my magical realm.
No. Stop projecting your horrible fetishes into the games. Anyways, I'm not judging anybody. I'm just quoting a gun show comic. Anyway,
you say that before we fight a giant woman tomorrow.
don't call them out.
Ow!
There's a reason I was laughing very heartily. It's because you guys haven't stopped me yet.
Well, the last giant woman we fought, was hitting us with a plus 20 modifier or something. That mountain giant hurt. Anyways, so okay, Tommy, what are you? What do you want to say to Carnagor?
What exactly is going on?
Is it obvious, Thomas? Still working for the good doctor.
Oh, lovely. And I take it he is ensured that you can't escape, like you can't rebel.
Yes.
What did he do?
Closer, I'll show you, Thomas. So long since we've been together.
Okay, I know she's being creepy. She
Yeah.
could still be a wife.
That's his sister.
Yeah, that's his sister, TT.
I'm not saying for you.
Alabama.
Not for you.
Whoa!
Hey.
We did just have Fred off admiring geckos being distracted, so I mean he has an appreciation for reptiles.
Fred
Honest-
Carnagler romance arc?
Hey
Honestly,
kids, meet your stepmom.
I mean, based on his ex-wife, that'd probably be the healthier relationship for Fred.
Oh my god.
She was only figuratively a cold-blooded beast.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
No, I'm not trying to say Fred's wife was bad. She wasn't really bad.
No, that didn't work out. It's fine.
So, so
I'm gonna, because it's been going so well tonight, I'm gonna read a bad situation just to. I got a 7.
Shady.
oh, that is a hold of 1.
Oh, fuck.
Okay.
Best way in, best way out. Are there any dangers we haven't noticed? What's the biggest threat? What's most vulnerable to me? What's the best way to protect the victims?
Okay, sort of modifying the any dangers we haven't noticed yet. How bad of a time would it be if Tommy went closer to her?
Can you approach
Are
safely?
you like? Is it like are you trying to incite her intentions on you?
Yes.
Okay. There definitely was tones of aggression in what she was saying.
Okay. Sorry, gotta move the computer. There's a cat on lap.
We know how it be.
Yeah.
Some things are important.
So, while you muse about that, Tommy,
Mm-hmm.
Fred.
Oh.
So you're walking along, and after a while, there's a moment where you're like, "Oh, what these things?" And then you think you recognize them from a display, and you click off your light. You hesitate a bit because it's like, okay, do I turn off the light and be in the dark here? But when you do, it takes a moment for your eyes to adjust, and then you realize some of the not the moss, but some of the other plants that are kind of like, it's kind of like a lichen, really. Bits of it start to glow, those little speckles of blue bioluminescence, where in the darkness it's like almost like seeing little bits of blue stars suddenly appear and glitter. But then all of a sudden you have a bat fluttering around your head, squeaking at you indignantly.
Fella?
When Fred, it wasn't hard to find Fred.
You looking at the cute little geckos too?
Oh, God.
She's
There you
gonna
are.
drape herself over his head.
Ah,
And
okay.
just stay
Oh,
there for a minute.
I hope you're not one of those rabies bats.
Fred!
Are you here?
No?
Yeah, I was following Winifred, wasn't I?
Oh, I thought you were back with the group.
No!
No, she went with me.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's why I haven't said
Oh.
anything.
Sorry. Whoops.
It's okay.
That's why I said Winifred. That's why I suggested Winifred go as a bat. She would outpace you. So yes, Fred. After a second, as this bat just drapes itself on your head, weirdly, you hear Olivia and then see her light getting closer. You
Hey,
can turn
Olivia.
Fred, where did you go?
Oh, well, there were all these cute geckos, so I was like, let's see what they're up to.
Hey,
Mouth
look,
open.
they're right there. You point out the couple of the little house geckos on the wall.
Oh,
I know, right?
they're so cute.
I know.
Bat wings
There's a
fluttered
tiny
and
little hiss.
You know, I think this is really what the adventure is about in the end.
No, we need. They found Carnivore. Come on, get
Oh,
your
shit.
weapon ready.
Okay. And I proceed to get my weapon ready.
Wow, she could live off of. Wow, she could live down here with how much fauna's down here. I mean, she could live off of just the fauna down here. All right, well, yeah, let's go.
you
Don't
turn
wander off
around,
again, Fred.
dragging Fred behind you.
Yes.
Are you still a bat flying around, or?
I am still a bat flying around. I'm showing
Okay.
them the way to make sure that they know where to go.
Okay, so you follow the bat. Back to the
We're following Batman?
Yes.
Yes.
Batwoman.
We gotta follow the bat.
So back to Tommy.
But Fred, one thing before we get back to Tommy. You gotta protect your doubloons.
Oh yeah, Batman's always after those.
Fuck.
Took a second for it to click.
Yeah.
One of the finer legacies.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Jason. You think he's dead and dead long, and then just rears up all of a sudden to take someone out.
Somebody will dig
Yeah.
that son of a bitch back up pretty soon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyways.
And we know men have a pair of doubloons.
Okay, so
Sorry.
I hate being my own worst enemy when it comes to tangents, but does anybody remember the fucking SpongeBob episode where he's trying to give Gary a bath, and he paints the bathtub like a treasure chest, and he's like, "Look, Gary, doubloons." Holds out a bar of soap. Don't drop them. Wink.
What?
Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
god!
Is that something
That's a
that actually
SpongeBob.
happened?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
God.
absolutely a SpongeBob thing.
Oh my god.
Holy shit!
Sorry. It was
Don't be sorry.
anytime someone says doubloons, I think of that joke because it's like first or second season SpongeBob. It was really early on. Because when SpongeBob came out, I was a teenager and I wasn't in that thing. It was like, oh, SpongeBob, I was going to watch that. But my cousin, who was a really young kid at the time, was really into it. So anytime I would go over to my uncle's to play like World of Warcraft or whatever, he was always watching SpongeBob. I literally remember sitting on the couch when that joke happened, looking over to my uncle as he had the same look on my face, like going, was that really the joke? And
There's one thing
Anyways,
I'm confident
I
about with
understand the
SpongeBob.
tangents.
It's that he knows about oral sex.
Yeah.
I mean, anal sex.
Hmm?
With that nose,
I'm going to kill you.
Oh,
Containment.
You killed him!
Banishment!
Okay.
You killed Fred!
Containment zone.
Okay,
You doing,
welcome back.
Fucking hell, god damn it.
Did Fred just get like fucking like linebacker tackled by a fucking?
I don't even know
Rob
anything
Ray-
about SpongeBob. No.
Into the darkness.
Oh my god.
The
Anyways.
blooms are the balls. Anyway, continue.
Thomas,
Yes.
Tommy, what you doing? So you basically D&D inside her. I got some different tones of aggression.
Hmm. I
Which-
think I'll stay here where I am.
And Carlos back yet? No. Okay. So, well, since things are about to happen right there, and I kind of want both Carlos and Hanzo's reactions to this,
Hmm.
since they're there with Tommy, I guess we'll take a quick break. Anybody needs to take a quick break?
Okay.
Yeah, I can always make use of one.
So you like lizards, Fred?
Like most creatures, really.
I mean, yeah, same, obviously. Love seeing the different kinds, learning how to handle them.
Oh, actually, small question for Fred
Yeah.
or TT. Does Fred know that Winifred can transform into a bat?
Nope.
Well, Fred assumes, but he doesn't want to ask because he feels that that's racist against Dracula's. He
Calling
assumes
them
until
Draculas is a
dissuaded
little-
from it that all monsters work on universal monster rules if they're an established trope. Like a Frankenstein would be powered up by lightning, and werewolves, have transformations controlled by the moon, except when it's not in accordance to what the movie needs. And also, you'll get a pentagram on your hand marking you as a sign of the werewolf's victim, and they can only be killed by the true loved one. In the vein of the Wolfman and American Werewolf in London. So he assumes that vampires have all the Dracula powers: hypnotism, turning into bats, communicating with rats and wolves, and probably movie Dracula powers where they're hurt by sunlight. But he's not going to ask about it. That'd be rude.
God.
Yeah, remind me. How does it exactly work? Why vampires are hurt by the sun in this, or like what physically happens? I mean,
extreme burning, not like catching fire, but like severe sunburns to getting third degree burns.
Since a sunburn is just a radiation burn, it'd be an extreme radiation burn essentially, right?
Yeah, it's significant radiation burns.
woof.
Yeah, even for quote unquote the undead, you still need your DNA to be intact.
The sun is a deadly laser.
Carlos, back it.
Sorry, I've been coughing so much today, gang, and my asthma has not been taking the weather swings well.
Stuff happens. We're all good.
Yeah, yesterday it was 79 degrees. Now it's in the low 60s.
Yeah, it's snowing.
Yeah, we have rain here. It's actually raining right now. Not
It's
a lot, but
snowing?
sprinkling.
But it's not going to be enough to keep us from work tomorrow.
Which is rude.
It's rude.
Shoot.
Excuse me.
Like lately, every text I get is political canvassing.
Yeah, it's that lovely time where you get advertisements for people you've never heard of, and you're like, "What's flavor of asshole is this one?
How do you have my number?
Why do you have my number? I put myself on one of those lists that you're not supposed to cross, but here you fucking are."
So, for whatever reason, me and my brother, because we got our phone numbers at the same time off of the same plan. Our phone numbers are literally one digit off, like numerically. Like mine ends in 0, his ends in 1, so it was like literally the number that came after. And one day we both get texts. It's like, subpoena, you are required to appear to court. Continued failure to thing will get like criminal things. And me and my brother are like, what? And then we look at it. There's a picture of a subpoena, and it's completely different people that we don't know, but we think that they just threw our numbers on there as filler. And we're both just like, yeah, wrong number. We have no idea who these are. Like, oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Great.
Where has Gray gone?
I just got back.
Ah!
What did I miss?
We were kind of pausing because things were about to pop off.
We were waiting
That's fair.
for you to come back from the mines.
Because since you and Hanzo are there with Tommy, wanted both of your reactions to.
Text, sorry. Everything has to be fucking
From-
unnecessarily loud.
From an action movie hero?
I have special set texts so I can ignore them at my leisure.
I get you.
For some reason, it sounded like the trumpet MIDI noise, like.
That's kind of what it was.
Anyways, so Tommy, I keep calling you
Yeah.
Thomas when that's what Carnagor calls you. So you're not proceeding; you're just kind of standing there at the top of the short little steps that go into the room.
Yes.
Okay. Well, because unfortunately you did roll that 6 before the whole insight thing. This isn't a surprise when it comes, but moving like a snake striking, just a blur of motion, emerging from a nook in the piping that goes from like this one pillar from the floor to the ceiling, is this dark blur of green scales as Carnagor leaps, scurries along the ceiling, much like a gecko, before launching herself almost like a bullet towards you.
That's foreshadowing!
But you duck as she wasn't aiming at you. Carlos and Hanzo, you're standing there in the doorway, as all of a sudden she slams into the door, slamming it shut because it swung inwards, and then is just kind of clinging to the wall and door, holding it shut as she stares at you, Tommy, now just inches away.
Hi.
Well, fuck.
Hanzo and Carlos, what do you want to do now that this door has been slammed shut very loudly? Winifred and the others, you would hear this clang echoing out. Because that's one of the things about concrete walls. They echo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well,
Flinching from
shit.
the sudden loud fucking bang of metal on concrete.
Ooh.
Tommy!
Yes.
You okay in there, bud?
Is it just me, or did DZ robot out for a moment there to anyone else? Or is that my connection just...
That was your connection, I think. I heard Tommy.
Okay, because it added a whole, like, comedic layer to the delivery. Sorry, continue. So, Tommy, you yell back, and Carnagor kind of hisses, and she goes, "I prefer we get a more personal conversation before your friends tried to shoot me with silver again.
Understandable. Go on.
Tell them you need a moment.
Can we hear through the door when
Tommy,
Carnivore speaks?
You did hear. You don't hear her because she's not talking loud enough, but you did hear Tommy like shout back, kind of muffled. It's not a super thick door, but it is still like a metal industrial door. Probably not something you can like hack down with a fire axe, but
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm.
Looking at it just briefly, it doesn't look like she dented it out of shape or anything. She just slammed it shut, and while you can't see it, Tommy, she's holding it shut with her her body, basically.
Mm-hmm. Not unlike when you're trying to get into a room and a cat put their body in front of it.
Or my Pyrenees. She did that. She was napping in my mom's room, and my mom was like, she's like, I need your help. She's fallen asleep in front of the door inside my room. I can't get in.
Aww.
So we had to reach under the door with like a ruler and poke her. It's like Luna, get up, move, get up. Anyway, sorry. Pyrenees are supremely sarcastic dogs. Anyways, so Tommy, do you shout out to your friends?
I am fine for the moment.
Start screaming when you aren't.
I think you'll be able to tell that.
Is that are the rest of us there yet?
Oh, I wish I could have had that timing, Carlos. That would have been so perfect, potentially. Yeah, after a or two, you'd be able to get there, but currently, Tommy, she's still kind of like clinging to the wall on the door, very much like a gecko. As she's curled there, she's not as bulky as she seemed. She seems more streamlined for speed and stealth at the moment. Her scales are darker. That really dark green, kind of mottled to, almost like a camo pattern to blend in with shadows. But she's just kind of staring at you with these large yellow eyes. Forked tongue flits out.
What do you require talking about?
You really don't remember me much, do you?
Nope, I just remember the first meeting and fighting the other doppelganger.
There's like this, it didn't carry, but there's this like rumbling hiss at the mention of it. As she goes, without you, I wouldn't have life. Brother. Oh, sorry, that's not a little Hulk Hogan there.
I wouldn't have life without you, brother.
Anyway, she's just like, they used your family to create me.
Oh.
Lovely.
The secrets. A flesh that can change how you want. All that little secret taken from blood and bones. I hate it. I hate them.
Which them?
All of them. You, Nevin, the doctor, The doppelganger.
Oh, it's not like I want to be a part of this.
And Carlos and Hanzo, you did hear like the raised voice, and like a thump as she kind of does like slam her fist, and against the door, in frustration. About this time, the rest of you would show up.
What was happening?
Carnagor's having a private chat with Tommy. She's blocking the door.
Oh.
You're one of the things that made it tolerable in those cages and labs. You protected me. And then you were gone.
I'm gonna lean my ear against the door, see if I can hear.
It's muffled, but it's can't really make out much unless voices get raised.
Okay.
Winifred, you have a little bit easier time hearing and making things out.
Yeah, I'm still in bat form and I've got these big fucking ears.
Oh.
You just watch this little bat shuffle up to the door and put her ears
In that case, I'm gonna DM you something.
Oh.
Here it was again. Yeah, how is Fred reacting to the very intelligent bat?
Guys, I think he likes me.
Oh, that's weird. That's weird. I don't like that. I don't like
What?
that.
How does one have a pet bat?
Do
Do you put him in a cage like a bird?
Put it, friend.
I mean, you can.
He's gonna shuffle back
You
a
just
few
straight up-
steps, and suddenly it's Winifred again.
Yeah, like moments after Olivia points and goes, "It's Winifred." Fred, you're like, "That's rude." Oh, suddenly the bat's Winifred.
Oh, hey, Winifred, did you see my... Oh, where'd it go?
There's just a complicated look on her face, like, all right, Fred. And she
Oh god.
leans over and like motions everybody to come closer to her for a whisper, so they can't hear inside of the room. She goes, "There are 3 heartbeats in there."
Oh, fuck.
Oh,
Oh, alright.
I count like 2
That-
people, though.
Is the
Oh!
Okay. Oh, fuck.
Shit.
Carlos.
Guys, I think in addition
Yes.
to being a werewolf, Tommy might be a Time Lord.
What?
I was
Just a
afraid you were
hand.
going to say. I was so afraid you were going to say. I think Tommy might be pregnant.
That's my
Nah,
third
this
guess.
isn't- Yeah, this isn't the Omegaverse, Hero.
Oh.
I mean, Carnagor might be pregnant.
My cow noise of distress.
Save that for tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyways, Carlos,
Yes.
does that sound familiar to you?
Doctor Who?
Think about no. Something about hearts and carnivore that you learned recently.
It probably should. I'm just blanking on it.
Well, I'd say Carlos might be a little alarmed at first, but Tommy,
Yeah.
what did you say next?
What did she say last?
I can't remember.
Oh, fuck.
You were the only thing that kept her.
Oh yeah, Yeah, you were the one that protected her, and then you were gone.
How bad did it get after?
I'm here, aren't I? I'm killing for them.
Hmm. Is there any way I can help you escape?
There's no escape.
I mean, I did.
Not for me anymore. They've seen to that. They can't help. I tried to escape. I did escape. But they found me before too long. Harder to hide as a lizard than it is as someone who can become a man.
Wait, is he with you too?
No. He's on other assignments. This is to be one of many missions I've been on. Cleanup. I didn't know I was cleaning up after you, though. Oh, the good doctor was interested to hear that.
I got fucking flashbanged. I was just trying to get lunch, and for whatever reason, I got flashbanged. Like, imagine you're going to the supermarket, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's like, what the hell?
So, why are you and your friends hunting me? I wasn't going after you.
Yes, but you were
Or them.
killing. But you were killing people in town. Apparently, this started by you going after a kid.
Only the ones that I was assigned. He ran.
were-
I let him run. I told him to run. He ran. That was it.
And you didn't chase him afterwards?
Oh, I mean, I admit, I did give a bit of chase. It was fun. Being able to stretch your legs after so long. And he was fast. It was fun.
Did you do any damage to him?
I might have scared him, might have torn a shirt, but no.
Okay, we'll need... Okay. Not as bad as it could have been.
Oh, I did get chastised severely for leaving witnesses. They know how to make it hurt.
Yeah.
Especially now.
Is there, like, a tracker in you or something akin to that?
Akin. And she reaches up and she, like, lifts up her head and just kind of... You just see her hand go from, like, actually very much like a gecko's paw, like, padded hand, and just seems to melt and shift itself until it's those brutal claws again, and she just rakes them across her chest, and blood drips down to the ground, but the wounds rapidly heal.
Shit. So what is it that... You go first.
Your friends
You go first.
Your friends want to hurt me. She says that loud enough for the rest of you outside to hear that last part. Do you, Thomas?
Not particularly, especially since I found out you weren't trying to murder a random kid.
I wanted to help you!
Yeah,
would.
murder is not their first resort. They would only do that if there was no choice.
They use silver.
Oh, I know.
You smell it on them out there now.
I use silver tranquilizer though, Shane.
Yes, I am aware. I've been hit by it too.
Someone didn't tell us he was a werethylacine.
You still fucking shot me.
Yeah, but it
I
was
thought you were the guy who went after the kid.
Yeah,
I was wondering why they did that.
It's silver tranquilizer. It was not meant to kill anything. We don't know your deal, Carnivore.
We don't know your deal, Carnivore.
Well, you found out my name. She's like tilting her head at Tommy. You forget me, but you discover my name.
Yeah.
My friends are resourceful.
Yeah, some of them have connections. I don't know what connections, but they have them.
I'm just a giant pain in the ass.
And Carnivore she's still, her head's kind of swaying side to side, almost Cobra-like. But she, all of a sudden, it's like a convulsion goes through her body as you see her muscles tense. And she nearly falls off of the wall. As you see, just like, it almost looks like, it's that weird weird way you've seen her body ripple, but it looks like something shifts underneath her, like underneath the scales around her neck. And then she shakes her head and clears her eye, opens her eyes. She does have eyelids. It's more like like a gecko's eyelids or like a bearded dragon's, really. But she's not like full no eyelid snake, but they're calling. You should really do something about me before I am forced to tell them about you and your friends, Thomas. And she launches herself at you, Tommy.
Oh,
that
swell.
means she's off the door.
Yep. As Tommy, she launches herself at you, like hands first. Kind of like someone leaping off. Well, actually, you've seen a gecko jump off of a wall at something. Very much like that. But it's like being hit by a linebacker as you are pushed back off of the steps, falling down several feet, landing on your back. You would only take one harm, but I think you have armor to prevent that. So it's more like you get the wind knocked out of you from the surprise rather than any harm, really. But yes. The rest of you hear that shout and then the oof of Tommy.
Yeah.
Aggression has started.
Yep, let's open this door.
All right. Well. Is it easy to open the door, or do you need me to slam it open?
Oh no, it wasn't dented or anything. It was just slammed shut.
Okay.
Cool. Swing open door?
Yep.
Swing open door.
Swings open. Someone just recently had a door squeak open like a second ago, so that was good Foley work. But you push open the door to see this room full of pipes and just old rusted machinery. And
a Resident Evil boss arena.
Yeah, that is actually, yeah. But you see Carnivore this large reptilian lizard-like creature just, on top of Tommy below. What are y'all doing?
We should probably get him, right?
Carnivore, stop!
So you're just shouting at her to stop?
Yeah.
And if she doesn't, I'm going to go absolutely apeshit.
Yeah.
Batshit, one might say.
Good.
Okay, so, Carnagor turns her head looking back at you. And actually you see her neck spread out, becoming something like a cobra's hood in this threat display, as her tail flicks, narrower than the crocodilian form that you had wrestled off of her previously. This one more skinnier, but there was still, as it flicks, a cluster of familiar looking quills appears at the end, and it sprays it. Who is the first one on the doorway? Who is the one who pushed it open?
I think I pushed it open.
Okay, so you get hit by a quill, which will do 2 harm minus armor. Do you have an armor class of 2? You might be fine.
I don't know if I have armor.
Oh, not a problem.
Could I have? Oh yeah, I have the fireproof stuff. But would that count as regular
I
armor?
think we said last time that wouldn't really help too much with puncturing.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ow.
Yeah, so you have a quill, bigger than the one Carlos is using, kind of lodged in your upper arm.
Ooh, ow, fuck!
So that was her rebuttal.
Great.
As a favorite video of mine once said, "Enough talk."
I guess it's time to get ass kicking.
Tommy.
Sarah,
What are
you son of a bitch. I just clicked.
So, Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
well, you can act on that how you wish, Carlos.
No, just Tommy can go first.
Yeah, Tommy. Yeah, it's just Tommy. It feels like has a more immediate concern right now, having the monster of the week on his chest.
Yeah,
Mhm.
actively trying to maul him.
Oh, and Tommy, here's
Yeah.
something that I've actually been meaning to bring up with you and the other werebeasts.
Yeah.
It being the night of the full moon, or the full moon is like full tonight in a few hours. It will be at its height.
Mhm.
It is incredibly hard to control your emotions on these nights. Compulsion is much easier, or impulse is much easier to give into. So just keep that in mind.
Yeah. With that in mind, Tommy is going to immediately transform just like out of reflex and just launch fangs at her.
Okay, kick some ass. Or unless it's a different role for being a monsters.
Nothing I could see, so
Don't
let
have
me...
unholy might yet.
I got a 7.
Okay, that is a success.
Hell yeah.
So how much harm does your bite do?
My bite. It does
Or like your monstrous attack?
3 harm. And
3 harm.
yeah. And
Okay.
all natural. I need to figure out that natural attacks thing. I don't think the +1 is added to the teeth.
Is your teeth your natural weapon?
I
think that's for... Wait. Yeah, because you're also a wronged. So you have bonuses with your stick.
Yeah.
which fell out of your hand. It's close, but when you got tackled, you kind of dropped it, but it is within reach. So not
Okay.
like you didn't lose it. But
Okay, looking at the thing, the teeth are a natural attack, so it'd be 4 harm.
Warharm, nice. As you Hulk out underneath her, just bursting at the seams with all this condensed biomass that makes up a werebeast, and she kind of looks down at you in like surprise at suddenly getting shifted, because that is you displace her weight, but then the shock turns to pain as you reach up and just sink your teeth into her shoulder and just take a large bite out of her.
Hmm.
And she's going to swipe at your face, dealing 3 harm with a swipe. Minus armor, of course.
Yeah, so okay.
And she does have armor unless you have like unless your bites go like ignore armor.
Doesn't look like it now.
Okay, but it was still a pretty solid hit, even with her armor.
Okay.
So, who wants to go next?
I will go next. Because it clicks in the head of Carlos, like the dots are connected finally. I'm going to take our wonderful locating beacon needle, and I'm going to light it on fire to do the magic attack, just because that's fun things.
Like voodoo, Eddie.
But as he's doing it, he was like, "Tommy, did you see any place weird shifting in her body?"
Her neck, and there's a tracking thing in her chest.
We'll go for the neck first. And we're gonna do a magic attack.
Okay. Use magic.
So it goes off without a problem.
Hell yeah.
And you get so which effect do you do?
So it's going to be I don't want to hurt the friend, so we'll go for the fire instead of the lightning or attack.
Mhm.
But it'll be a missile, 3 harm, fire, magical.
Oh,
And
you
with
are
the
using her quill, right?
I'm using her quill, yeah.
That'd be like a piercing thing, wouldn't it? Get underneath the skin.
That's the idea.
Acupuncture.
Acupuncture.
With force.
Okay.
And then Carlos is going to say after it hits, just to be like, the doctor controlled the hearts. They used her to help control Carnagor. Put 2 and 2 together, she's got an extra heart in her.
Good to know.
As this quill goes streaking through the air like a tracer bullet, leaving the trail of fire. It lodges very, very neatly at the base of her neck, kind of like around where the clavicle would be. I don't know if lizards have clavicles. That's what.
Yeah, they do.
I wasn't sure if it was called something else, but stabs in, and Carnagor kind of. Tommy, it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to not really react to the fire or the piercing. She just kind of looks at it, scratches at it. Almost like it didn't do harm, even though you see it burning. And then I'll give this one to you, Tommy.
Yeah.
You kind of remember something about Carnagor having, like, not to use like game mechanic terms, fire didn't really affect her that much. You remember that being something as a kid that they would, or as a hatchling or during her youth when she was being tested, because there's these vague memories of tests, and she had a high tolerance for heat and fire. But as it sinks in, you see that same spasm of like something moving under her skin, and then the spasm seems to spread into her as she like twitches and convulses and like gives this shout, and like reaches up and tries to pull the quill from her and like tosses it aside. Carlos,
Yes.
you son of a bitch, you guessed it, and you remembered that the hearts have a weakness to fire.
Oh shit.
Or in a higher version to fire. So while Carnagor didn't seem too bothered by it, whatever you stabbed in her did not like that. As Winifred, you can hear that second heartbeat, which was steady compared to the like amped up adrenaline fueled one of Carnagor. Now that one is beating hard.
Okay.
Now that you can focus on it. And I it's kind of appropriate that a vampire would be able to focus in on a heartbeat.
Yeah, yeah.
I
Yeah.
smell snack.
I would
Right here,
like
snack.
to aim my ass directly at that beating heart. If nobody
Okay.
minds me going next.
Nope.
Proceed.
Okay.
And Carlos, you got off lucky. That prevented a retaliatory strike.
I'm glad.
However, Scappa,
Yeah, that's
that's a kick some ass, right?
yeah, that's not a great roll. What the fuck is going on tonight?
So that's 6. On a miss, you get your ass kicked instead, as you threw yourself at Carnagor, right?
Yeah, I was going to aim at the heart and try to get Tommy at the same time. I'm guessing I decided last minute to go for Tommy at the, as the higher priority, and got smacked in the face.
Well, not quite. So you were diving to try and help Tommy?
Yeah, I decided last minute that I would do that.
Okay. That moment of indecision was enough for Carnagor to react with those serpent-like speed. As you were suddenly, because you were diving through the air, it wasn't a very far leap, but only because of
Cat.
just the supernatural reaction speed she seems to have. You are caught mid-air, hand wrapped around your, the hand is almost big enough to, squeeze around your neck and part of your shoulder, as she just catches you, pulls you in close and goes, "See if you like to fly." And she throws you across the room, killing, as you collide with some rusted machinery. Let's say 3 harm. Taking into consideration armor.
Yeah, that's not gonna do anything.
Actually, no, it would be 4 harm.
And I'll take 1.
Because you're supposed to get your ass kicked, and 3 is like what she normally does on just normal attacks usually. So yeah, I need to remember that because you are so beefy that things need to be able to hurt you.
Cat, can you
So-
stop doing what you're doing?
Winifred
My
was
cords?
just swatted out of the air.
I just stop.
That's a
Anzo, your
being
turn.
harassed.
She's chewing on my microphone cord.
I don't know.
Stop it.
Is she a rabbit?
Or-
She's an
You stop that, cat.
Meow, meow.
I will ask first. Does Fred want to go in order to protect other Fred?
Oh, right. I forgot about Fred. Sorry, Fred.
No, it's okay.
Hanzo and Fred.
I was just looking at the geckos again.
There's a big gecko right there,
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah, there
smacked your
is.
bat friend.
Oh shit! Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. Well, let's see if Fred can actually kick some ass.
Also, your
With the
roommate.
baseball bat of doom.
It's got plus
Cricket
1
bat.
tough. It's possible.
Wing away. Unless you had other ideas you wanted to do.
Yeah, that's a 6.
Oh no.
Fred, you try to-
take it like I can.
well, it's you kind of try to replicate or unknowingly recreate what Winifred just did, and in a similar fashion. Only this time you aren't tossed quite as hard because this time you're only swatted out of the air by the swinging tail. So
Yep.
you land on your side in the middle of the room, or like further into the room. It was a good distance to fall, so you would take 3 harm, minus whatever armor you might have.
Well, the fun thing about that is
Have done.
I don't have armor.
Yeah, you land heavy on your side. Might have cracked a rib there.
Oh shit!
Ooh.
Okay. Well, I learned a lesson there. Oh jeez. Oh, I
And
think it hit the arm that regrew with the lizard powder. Ah.
And Hanzo, before your turn, Carnagor just kind of whips around to stare down at Tommy and goes, "You're making me hurt them." Your turn, Hanzo.
Alrighty. I can add my the bonuses I've held on to. I can apply those after the right.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, that's not gonna help
Jeez.
at all.
Okay, maybe we should not use this dice bot because it is consistently like trying to hurt you guys.
Yeah, let me link the dice roller I use. Maybe that will be more helpful for you guys.
Yeah, thank you.
Jesus Christ.
Since being an asshole, I'm gonna get my physical dice. Gotcha. You like
Yeah,
I just got the same roll.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
my
If you
physical
have, yeah, I'll be fine if people want to use like a physical D6 that you have. I'm perfect fine with that because that's usually how I rolled for Melody. Because I didn't trust dice rollers.
I don't either right now.
So I guess that was a little hypocritical.
We tried to trust the machine, and it betrays our trust.
Being mean.
So Hanzo,
Oh, I'll take it
okay
on the chin.
yeah. How do you try to kick ass?
Well, seeing as the last 2 people just ate shit by trying to engage in melee, he's attempting to shoot it with the fucking magnum.
Okay, so you fire off a shot, and she was kind of, because she had spun to swat, to both throw Winifred and then swat Fred out of the air. The flying Freds. She saw your gun and was able to, slither. It wasn't dodge the bullet out of the air, but she was able to see where you're aiming and able to kind of slither off to the side. And she just glares up at you, and then Tommy, you kind of have the wind knocked out of you again as she uses your chest as a springboard.
Oh fuck!
As she launches herself up the stairs. And Hanzo, you get thrown back. The door is slammed in your face again. This time it would only do like 2 harm. But she's just like, "Okay, Mr. Guy with Gun, go away. You and Olivia can stay up there."
Door shut again.
Yeah, it's not like locked shut, but you got slammed back by it as she slammed it in your face.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cat is apparently hungry. Well, yeah, I'm trying to eat your cords. Anyways, so I guess not really initiative, but
New round.
yeah.
New round to this.
Yeah, who wants to go?
She kind of did just use you as a springboard, Tommy.
Yeah, Tommy's gonna. Would Tommy have noticed where the heart movement was? Where that movement in her neck was?
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
might
ask
get-
about that.
Well, you saw the pulsing under the skin, so you don't know if that's where the heart is, or maybe like one of its,
Arteries.
arteries, because you remember seeing those hearts, and even the ones that it detached to throw at you that kind of scurried across the ground like horrible, horrible ticks. But you're not sure where exactly it might be. But that definitely seemed to be like where at least a part of it was.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So,
And she did gesture to her chest when she was talking to you.
yeah.
Oh,
So
I hate that. It's kind of like that, but no suction cups.
what would I have to roll to try and hold her down? Like to tackle her and pin her down?
That seems like a kick ass.
Yeah, because it is. You're trying to physically. Actually, that would be like a force them where you want them kind of thing. So yeah,
Oh,
that
yeah.
would be a kick ass.
Okay. Okay. Ooh, that is a 12.
Ooh.
Yeah, you can force them where you want them.
Yep.
Yeah. So Tommy is going to jump after her and grab onto her and just pin her down in a way that it makes it so it's easier to get where the pulsing was and like her chest too.
Okay. So Tommy, she leapt up those short flight of stairs again, and you leap up after her. And it was like she was turning around after slamming the door to like go back to attacking, you and the rest. But you're up there, you grab her kind of by the shoulders, and it's almost like a comedic take where she's just like, oh. And then you just toss her to the side and kind of throw yourself after her even before she landed. So you're able to land on top of her, pinning her to the ground and kick some ass. Damage rate.
On a success, you inflict harm, and if you roll a +10, you get to choose an extra effect.
That was the force them where you want them. Were you aiming to do harm? Actually, no. It would be you wouldn't really be able to hold yourself back with her, really. So, what's your harm for like a physical attack, like your claws or whatever?
3.
Okay. You hit. She hit. It's more like getting. It's not like you're slashing at her, but it's more like
they're digging in
damage as you land on her and kind of crush her, because you're both very heavy creatures. Lots of biomass condensed.
I would like to go next in order to get the door open and get me and Olivia back into the fight.
Okay, yeah, because you got knocked back against the wall that's not too far from the door, so the hallway's not very wide.
Yeah, would that be my turn to get back into the fight?
Oh, you can kick it open. It was really, that was just kind of flavoring and just trying to be like inconvenient.
All right. Since I said I would go, I guess try to kick ass again.
Okay. And you didn't take any of the silver bullets, right?
No, I did not. I do have my silver knife, though.
Oh, you do have the dart gun with the silver.
Oh, yeah, I do.
I think you have like 1 or 2 darts that Olivia gave you.
Yeah.
At least 1, I know.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I haven't put the dart gun in my inventory, but I'm sure I could borrow it from Olivia real quick in a toss swap.
Mm-hmm. Well, I thought to give you guys each a dart, would be kind of pointless if you didn't get one of the tranquilizer dart pistols from the preserve. So I'd say you would have that. Because you all did the gearing up thing before you came down here.
All right. Motherfucker.
What'd you roll this time?
Exact same number, 4.
Oh, jeez. Your gun jams. The dart gun jams. So it's like, maybe it's just like, oh, how do I work this thing? So you have to, you waste, because it was at a range thing and she's not really like in a position to really do much at the moment since Tommy's holding her down. I'm not going to say you get damaged, but you do have to clear the jam. Who wants to go next?
I can if
Yeah,
nobody else wants to.
Yeah, what a Fred.
Go ahead.
Carnagor jumped up, slammed the door shut in Hanzo's face, but then Tommy grabbed her and then threw her onto the middle of the floor and jumped on her.
Okay.
Oh my god, the people's elbow!
That heart is still beating in her neck, right? Still there?
You know what? Being the vampire, the heartbeat is inside her chest. Both of them.
Question is, which one's which?
Yeah, I'd have to make a roll to figure out that, I'm guessing.
Probably.
Because being a shape-shifting mutant that can alter her biology, I think it's safe to say you can't make assumptions about where it would be.
Oh god, I think that was actually something like in Marvel Comics a Skrull did. They literally moved their heart to the side when someone tried to stab them.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'm trying to think. You might be able to do it as an act under pressure, to like locate and kind of point out where for the others.
Okay. Act under pressure, and then at least somebody...
That would be kind of going in and helping Tommy, like hold her down and examine where you think this might be.
Some on-site veterinary work.
So you want me to? Do you want me to do a kick some ass roll and then in the?
No, an act under pressure.
We're just flavoring it as I'm going down to help him hold her down.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll do that.
Yeah, because Tommy rolled a 12 to pin her down. So.
Okay, so Mr. Magic Man can hit with fire again.
I like your funny words, Magic Man.
Ooh. 12. Yeah.
Okay, so now that you're close and you actually have like hands on, you're able to feel like the pulse of the pulse of Carnagor and whatever else is sharing her circulatory system, and it's kind of difficult because she is a squirming, thrashing monstrosity. As you will take, actually you don't take harm because you have, monster armor. So what would have been, 2 harm of just like slashing, you kind of shrug off because you've got your own regenerative bullshit, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she's, a biting, kicking, flailing mess. But with Tommy's weight holding her down and your strength, you're able to feel. It's weird. You actually do feel like her organs inside shifting in a way that shouldn't, as she's like trying to find some battle form that will, save her. And you can feel what feels like a lump that is, well, pliable, not as pliant as the rest of the body. And you focus on that heartbeat. You're pretty sure where if there's like you have your hands pressed on her torso and where there would be the hole between your splayed fingers, you have a target.
I'm gonna shout up to everybody that goes here.
10-4. There. Hey Olivia, did you pull that spine that you got stabbed with earlier out of you yet?
No!
Can I pull the spine out of you real quick? Out of character?
Out of character? Would that fuck me up more?
No, it's not.
Okay.
It's a combat thing. She has to focus a little more to make them barbed. Right now, it's just like a thing.
Okay. Alright, fine, do it!
Okay, cool. Pulls it out, does it again.
Oh!
You kind of get the sense that the more complex stuff has to, takes longer to grow.
Holy fuck.
God damn, Carlos!
The dice spot loves me tonight. So, Ayo.
Oh, you're the one sapping everyone's strength. I see.
I don't know why. but
Okay,
it's working.
what's the fire damage?
3. Once again, focusing in on the heart thing, controlling Carnagor.
And, jeez, with the assistance of Tommy pinning her down and the guidance of Winifred telling you where the critical hit spot is, it looks like you stab her right where her heart should be. And again, she doesn't really seem to react to this flaming piece of bone or keratin, really, from a quill that just stabs into her, and she doesn't really seem to react to it at first. But then Winifred and Tommy, since you're the closest ones, and you can actually, Winifred, you feel all. There's just a heartbeat moment before all of a sudden, whatever shape you feel inside starts to just writhe and convulse and twist and contract,
Out
and
of the way.
you hear this like wheeling noise from inside her torso. That is a
So-
noise that you remember hearing the other hearts make when they were burning to death.
Great, cool, love it, awesome, fantastic, best thing. Oh, hey,
And
oh,
then
yep.
Carnagor starts flailing even harder.
Does it seem like the heart's still alive?
I don't know. It's still inside.
Oh
Carnagor
God!
is
All
a
right,
thrashing mess.
I'm gonna run over. Carnagor, I'm sorry. Where's the heart?
Winifred, you would still have. There's literally a quill sticking in, pointing towards it. It's like
Cool.
it's like combat.
Carlos points to the quill. That one was in you. Now you're blood sisters.
Oh shit! Now, all right. I guess we're blood sisters now. Carnagor, welcome to the family. And I take out my mallet and my silver tip stakes. Carnagor,
All right.
this is probably gonna hurt. I'm real
It's
sorry.
Okay,
I'm
kick some
aiming
ass.
I'm aiming directly at the heart.
Okay, kick some ass.
Oh god, no, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god. What is my kick some ass roll? Okay, +1. Oh boy. Oh boy.
Ooh.
1. Oh boy, here we go. Let's see. How far? Touch it. 5.
Wow.
Wait, no, you know what? No. I
Everyone
refuse.
except Carlos has rolled a
I'm
1.
using
the
a
dice.
luck point.
Oh yeah, I forgot about luck point.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
So
Fuck
you aim
that.
for the heart, right?
Yes.
Not Carnagor's heart.
Not Carnagor's heart. The heart.
There's something,
The writhing heart.
Fred, as you kind of push yourself up from your rough landing and look
Oh.
over, you see a scene that feels just kind of a little, not quite right. As you see someone using a hammer and stake as a vampire holds them down to drive a stake into the heart of a werebeast, being held down by a vampire and another werebeast. So,
It does 3 harm, by the way.
yep.
Oh, you know
And
what?
The
You know
silver
what?
allows it to pierce easily through Carnagor's armor.
I'm not done yet.
Hmm.
That's good.
I'm going to
Someone's got to
use
actually take care of this thing.
I'm using precision strike.
Which is
When you inflict harm on a monster, you can aim for a weak spot. Roll plus tough. On a 10+, you deal +2 harm. On a 7 to 8, you deal +1 harm. On a miss, you leave yourself open for the monster to hit you. If I get fucked up, I get fucked up. I don't! I do 2 more harm!
all
I do
right.
5 harm!
Winifred,
Mm-hmm.
as you have your hands on Carnagor and you can feel this heartbeat, it was dying. It was whatever life it still had in it before it was being burned out you feel it just kind of convulse and then fall still within Carnagor's still thrashing form as this stake pierces through the silver, allowing to pierce cleanly through the armor. And the armored scoots and directly into her torso, and Carnagor gives this scream of sympathetic pain because it is silver being used to hurt her, and whatever is inside her. Carlos, you would know from seeing the schematics and details from the Dr. Apostu's computer and at the Falcon Lake Witness. These things integrate themselves pretty deeply with the target's or a host's nervous system, specifically the pain centers.
Ooh.
As Carnagor, her eyes seem to go from that yellow, and just as her body starts to twist and warp, maybe in just instinctive reaction to the severe pain, her body starts to bulk out, the scales growing dark and jagged, and her eyes go from yellow to this milky, just mindless, rage-filled white as stage 2 initiates.
Oh fuck! Cool.
Oh no!
Carnagor Unleashed.
Oh, that was the inhibitor.
Well, I don't think it was the inhibitor. I think it just fucking hurt and is sending her into a frenzy.
Well, that was their control collar, effectively, for her.
Who wants to go next?
Okay, that was during this round, so that was Winifred went, Olivia went,
Fred.
Carlos went.
Carlos went, so that leaves
I think
Carlos.
Fred's the last one.
Fred, yeah.
Okay. Let's see if I die.
Oh no.
I've got a 7.
A 7? That's a success.
That's a success. I'm
swinging your bat.
I'm gonna hit you for 2 messy harm.
Ooh, and
with the silver bat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. As you run up and just kind of, it's starting to thrash free of Winifred. You're not able to, well, you're strong. You might be able to keep your hands on him, but Olivia, you're starting to get pushed back from the thrashing, and Tommy, you're still holding her down. But Olivia, you have to back up to avoid a swipe of just this jagged clawed fist. It's not even like the claws are her fingers. It's like there are spikes growing out of her clenched fist. Just bone and scale as she's just flailing. And Fred, that when Olivia steps back, there's that opening, and you run in and you bring your bat down, and there's a maybe satisfying crack as you bring it down and on this thing's wrist and give it a nice solid blow, maybe cracking a bone, but not outright breaking the limb. But you do and you see that the silver studs do drag and scrape, tearing at the scales more than they should.
Oh damn!
Top of the round again.
I'm gonna shoot her with the triangle.
Okay. Kick some ass.
Yeah, I'm just getting pushed back. We're just gonna grab my rifle and try and trank her.
How much longer we got you for, Tommy?
I can probably go until 10:30 at latest.
Oh my god!
Oh, is it I forgot. It's almost 7 here, so it's almost 10 for you now, right?
Yeah. Holy fuck!
Wow!
Wow.
Lots of
Okay.
ones tonight.
Yeah, no, it's becoming a thing. Olivia, try rolling a physical dice.
Yeah, roll physical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody else has abandoned the dice roller because it's being mean.
Except Gray.
The dice roller is loving carnivore.
Remember, equivalent exchange.
Mr. Magic Man's draining all the luck for himself over there.
If I knew how it
Primary
worked, I
rule
would
of
fix
alchemy.
it.
Carlos
Hey.
with his magic, crazy straw.
I need.
Oh, no, Winifred's the one with the crazy straw.
Sippy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
This bitch.
This is bitch.
Okay. 2d6. Ah! That's an 8.
See, that's even that. See, that's a hit. You dart her.
Cool. It doesn't do much damage. It only does It was
Yeah, it's not going to do damage thanks to
one
her
harm.
armor. Her armor negates the harm for it, but it's not really it's not you're really wanting the harm. You're wanting the delivery mechanism, which it does. It lodges into her neck where the scales are a little more pliable, as you see, the dart stuck in there. And while she doesn't knock it out, it's just sticking in there. So you're pretty sure it's like pumping whatever,
The silver nitrate.
silver mixture. And I realized, since Tommy, sorry, I didn't realize it was so late.
You're good.
Should we stop here and continue with the stage 2 Carnivore next time?
That is a pretty dramatic place to end it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Grows huge. And
So I'll say, just as the stinger cliffhanger for the fight, as you dart her in the neck, Tommy and Winifred, you are both forced to, are thrown back as she just suddenly surges forward with renewed strength, pumped full of adrenaline, and she, has to knock you back and gives this, it is very strange to see a reptile war, but she gives this guttural scream. That is, Tommy, it sounds very much like the werethylacine scream of your family members from your youth. As
God,
you just see this creature mindless in pain and rage as you see the stake. It's still embedded in her chest, and she reaches up and with one hand, similar to what you saw, Tommy, before, digs her claws into her chest, rips open her chest, and with her other hand reaches in and yanks out the blackened knot of the heart creature, crushes it in her hand, and just drops it.
Hell yeah. Busso. Oh god.
And you see the wound on her chest is not healing as fast as it should, because she has been introduced to silver now. The beast can bleed and can hurt.
If it bleeds, it has a cardiovascular system.
Mm-hmm.
Well, so we'll leave off with that, Scather.
If it bleeds, it's got juice.